Two questions before we really get into things that I want to ask. Going around the table, do you consider yourself a feminist?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
Into the mic.
Absolutely.
What's the first rule of Fight Club?
So is that a yes?
You answer the question.
Yeah.
That's the first rule of Fight Club.
Yeah. So you are a feminist?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I feel like there are different definitives in today's age that, I don't know, might extend some boundaries on feminism, but I still do consider myself like a feminist. But I think there are some kind of, like...
There's aspects of it that you reject and aspects that you accept?
Well, I think just in terms of, I think everybody should have equal footing, and the thing that I don't like is when there's hate towards either gender, and I think that's unfair. So I consider myself a feminist.
Okay.
For equality.
I am not a feminist.
I am definitely not a feminist.
I am not a feminist.
Andrew, are you a feminist?
Absolutely.
Not.
No.
You asking me?
Yeah.
Couldn't be less of a feminist. I am the official representative of the patriarchy. Let's go.
I love the patriarchy.
Give me some.
What do you mean womp womp? What do you...
That's what we're here to
Are
argue
you
about.
not aware that patriarchy is based?
I just threw up in my mouth.
Do you know who
like
Reagan would never say that?
Okay, do you know who owns
President
OnlyFans?
Reagan.
Oh, snap.
No.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, we can.
It's a white man. You guys,
I don't like that.
but you
And
capitalize off of it.
Men created
And so does
No,
sex work.
they're capitalizing off of us.
Yeah, so are you. You're also
I
making
didn't
money off
capitalize
of them.
off of him.
No
No.
one's forcing
Are you
to go
supporting the
on OnlyFans,
patriarchy
though.
by doing OnlyFans?
You
No.
make an active decision to do that.
Historically,
Yeah.
that wasn't the case for sex
my
work.
OnlyFans wasn't my
Sorry.
first form of sex work.
Wait, historically what now?
Historically, sex work was made by men, so they wouldn't rape the good women of the town.
Bro. I just want to come in.
So they went our word.
There's been a few responses you've given to questions. We are trying to have, there's moments to be humorous, moments to just answer the question immediately without, like, what is the first rule of Fight Club? You can just answer the question.
Okay.
We gave you pre-show instructions not to say certain words. If it's absolutely necessary within the context of the conversation to bring it up, use like SA. I'm sure you know
Yes.
what that can stand for, okay? Okay.
I realized.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead with your point.
So when sex work first started.
When was that?
That would probably in the 1800s.
Sex work started in the 1800s?
Yes, where there's prostitutes.
Prostitutes
illegally.
started in the 1800s?
I'm not sure exactly what time, but I would like to.
So you're not sure that sex work or prostitutes started in the 1800s?
It's
I
historical.
am 100% confident that prostitution did not start in the 1800s.
Okay.
I
well,
can assure you.
Okay.
So anyway, go ahead.
Okay. So sex workers were forced by men of the town, of different towns, because they would have wives and good women of the town that weren't considered slut. Can I say it?
You can say slut.
That
That's
weren't
fine.
considered sluts or the whores or whatever the terminology. So they developed sex work so they wouldn't rape those women.
Bro,
and they would.
Are you brain dead?
All right.
Grid 1
I think you should
Motorsports
probably too much
donated
liability.
$200. The guy who owns have paid himself $1.3 million a day last year, and still owns the billion-dollar company. You are the product. Feminism has failed you. How can the patriarchy help you today?
Yo, thank you.
Insanely based comment, Grid 1.
Thank you, Grid 1. Appreciate it.
What's your guys' definition of feminism?
Hold on.
Hold
Is
on.
there something you want to say?
Yeah.
I never finished my point.
Okay.
Wait, but hold on. Are you aware of what you just did again?
You can explain it because
Okay. I asked you before the show. We said don't actually say that word just because it fucks with YouTube, whatever. You said it, and then not just now, but earlier. And then I said, please use the word SA. Are you coherent right now?
Yes.
Why did you say the word again then?
I said the word again.
What? Are you just not that?
I feel
Well,
like I feel
I
like this
wasn't able
woman's
to
a
finish my
liability
point,
to
so
the
I
show,
lost
Brian.
my.
Okay.
I feel like she's
I
a
lost my
liability
train.
to the show.
We'll give her more chance, but Please, like
I'm trying not to. I'm not going to corner you.
If you need to use that word, just say SA. We all know what you're talking about here at the table.
R word, I understand. Yes.
Or the R word, I guess. That's fine.
I'm feeling
hey,
cornered.
excuse me 1 second. I think for the sake of your channel, one more strike, she's out.
Depending on what, but please. I mean, we've had to tell you multiple times. Okay, so
I understand. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Continue with your point.
It started so men wouldn't SA women of the town who are considered whores. So it's a job that was developed by men. So yes, it's been developed by men through time, and OnlyFans is owned by a man.
What evidence do you have for what you've just said? And then Andrew, if you want to come in.
Yeah. So just out of curiosity, I want to make sure I got this right. So I don't want you to feel cornered. I just want to make sure that I'm giving back what you're saying to you. Are you saying that small towns in the 1800s developed systems for prostitution so that the men there would not sexually assault the women?
And yes, and I'm not saying specific. I don't know what time period, but whenever sex work started, yes.
Whenever that's well, I mean, sex work's been around.
It's been around in America, right? At least, because we're one nation under God.
It's been around since America's founding.
Yeah, since America's founding, sex work has been a thing, and it was started to prevent that from happening.
To prevent sexual
because
assault.
there's good women and women who are considered whores. They
so would you say
know.
Then?
So they would be coerced into that.
I understand what you're saying. So would you say then that you think that women who operate as prostitutes would have been less likely or more likely to get sexually assaulted by men?
It's a great question.
The reason why they were even in that job is because they were more likely to be SA'd.
Yeah, but do you think that they would be more likely or less likely to be SA'd as prostitutes?
The whole point of them not being SA'd...
He's not asking about the point of them. It's a simple question. Do you think they'd be more likely or less likely to be SA'd as prostitutes?
More likely, yes.
Right. So
that's
it's
always more likely for sex workers to be SA'd.
So I just want to make sure I got the system right. So if the system is this is being developed in order to cut down on SA, and yet you're putting women in a position where they're more likely to be SA'd, does that even make sense to you?
SA of the good women is what I think she said.
I don't know if you're understanding my point. I'm talking from a historical where sex work started in the beginning when America was found. Like, it's been around forever.
Where did you hear this? Where did you get this information?
I've looked up multiple articles and historical.
Here, you wanted to come in? Go ahead.
Because I'd like.
Yeah, what she's talking. So like, what you were saying is like, wouldn't they be more likely to? A lot of these women that were put into sex work in times like that, they had already been SA'd by the time that they were like of puberty.
They were considered the town.
They were seen as dirty, so they were not. Nobody wanted
and coerced
to marry them.
into doing.
Why were they considered dirty?
Because if they weren't married, if they weren't married,
because they weren't married.
Yes.
So in other words, the societal standard says to them,
yes,
our standard is that you can't step out, you can't have sex outside of wedlock, you can't do these kinds of things. They did that anyway, violating the societal standard. So the men went kind of pushed aside and went, you're undesirable, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if they're undesirable, you're saying the only way they could carve out a living is to be prostitutes?
They didn't make. I'm trying to make a point that they were coerced into doing it to prevent men to not SA the good women of the town, because those men would be married and they would step out of their marriage, and so the
I got it. So walk me through this.
Of the city or the town.
Do you think that men got around at a table inside of one of these towns?
I'm not. These women did not decide at the beginning. It's decided
listen
now.
to his question.
Hold on just one sec.
$200. Brian, you should have kept the super chats at $99. The same is likely this poor gal's IQ. The delusion is super strong with this one. Feminism has nothing to do with anything this girl is talking about.
Grid one, thank you, man. We'll probably lower it later on in the show. It's just we want to get through this early part quickly. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Andrew, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just wondering, do you think that men got in a room and they were like talking in one of these towns? One's like, hey, Chuck, I'm really worried about the virtuous women of our town being sexually assaulted by Steve over there. So why don't we take all the undesirable women and we'll just make them all prostitutes so that doesn't... Does that even sound realistic to you?
That's where brothels were developed.
No, that's not how brothels were developed.
Then can you explain how they were?
Yeah, brothels are developed because women can make easy coin being prostitutes, and many of them have no skills or didn't desire to have any skills. And a lot of people moved. A lot of women actually migrated from eastern areas to western areas in order to become prostitutes during the pioneering phase, because they made a ton of money during the gold rush. So these were choice-based things. These weren't, nobody forced them into it. It's ridiculous.
I'm not saying it's forced. It's that these women were casted out from society for not getting married or being considered...
Yeah, so they were shunned. That's true.
They were shunned.
Patriarchy got together and was like, you must be a prostitute because we're shunning you from society. You're not even shunned, really. You're a social outcast because you're not desired by men because you have violated the rules and norms of society.
Hold on. You go, and then you go. Yeah, and then Sav, go ahead.
You keep talking about...
Can you scoot your mic this way?
You're evading my... You're doing a debate thing where you're evading.
Hold on. Stop. Go ahead. You go, and then Sav.
You keep... So what I said was that these women had already been essayed before they had ever entered sex work. And then you said... Though these were their choices.
No,
you said that because they're impure. So you think that because a woman is impure, if someone else has done that to her.
The claim that women engaged in prostitution because they were SA'd and that's why they engaged in is ridiculous. You could never prove that.
That wasn't the point I was trying to make. You're doing
Go ahead,
a debate.
look up any study that you want that prostitutes were only prostitutes because they had been
So
SA'd.
do you want me to find a study about how many prostitutes have been sexually assaulted?
Well, that's not the claim. The claim that you made was they were prostitutes because they were SA'd.
No, I'm saying that that's what happened before. The likelihood.
What's your point? Go ahead.
I would like to say that the patriarchy is not a group of men, a specific group of men. It's like a description or a describing word to... or for social structures that we have, ingrained into our society and ingrained into a variety of societies and cultures. So it's not just one group of people. Also, sex work. Sorry.
Who's at the
That's fine.
Who's at the top of that though? Inside
There's
of the patriarchy.
not a individual that's on top of.
Then what's a matriarchy?
Led by feminine values.
So then there's somebody on top of the archy, right? That is female in a matriarchy?
So it depends on what you're using the word for. So like when we talk about
matriarchy, not patriarchy.
I know. They're like opposing words. Like for different
but who's on top in a matriarchy?
So in a matriarchy, a woman is on top. If we're talking about a matriarchal society, but whenever we're talking about a matriarchal society, we're usually using it in a historical context. So we're describing how a specific society functioned, like within their households and stuff like that. When we talk about the patriarchy in a modern context, we're talking about the qualities and structures that a society has within it. So I would say, to just throw in a point that kind of correlates with patriarchy, capitalism is a patriarchal structure that we have within our society and within a lot of societies.
So just make sure I got the definition down.
Hold on.
Oh, sure.
No. So you go.
I was just wondering. I just want to make sure I get the definition down. So women can be in charge in a patriarchy?
I mean, a woman could be a manager at a job in a patriarchy.
That's not really my question, though. Okay. So you're saying that this is a developed system, and this is a descriptor for how the West works, or how different nations work. You're using this as a descriptor for the systems, and the systems are what creates a patriarchal system. Can at the top of this patriarchal system exist all female leaders? Theoretically.
I guess if the women were upholding patriarchal standards, then yes.
So why wouldn't that be a matriarchy then?
I guess it depends on the definition that you're using.
Right, that's what I'm using here.
The connotations.
It seems to me that patriarchy has no meaning if you're removing men from being at the top of the patriarchate, right? Just like matriarchy. Could you imagine how foolish it would sound if I said, there was this great matriarchy with a king and princes and everything that wasn't matriarchal, right? So this is why I'm trying to get kind of your definition for these systems.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I think what I'm saying that's not getting across the way that I want it to be is that there's different kind of in between the lines depending on what situation you're talking about, matriarchy.
So here's a clarifying question for you. I'm going to simplify it. He asked you if it could still be a patriarchy if there's women at the top managing it, and you said if they're upholding patriarchal structures, it could still be a patriarchy. What do you mean by that? What are those patriarchal structures that those women at the top would theoretically be upholding?
Capitalism would be a good example.
Women benefit from capitalism. You benefit from
Anybody
it.
There's benefits. There's benefits and negatives.
Wait, so are you against capitalism?
Theoretically, yes. I think that there are ways that it could become better.
In practice, you do OnlyFans, so theoretically, you're not against it.
I have to be able to live. I have to be able to live.
You're taking advantage of capitalism in order to live. Okay. Are you more in favor of like socialism or communism?
Yeah. What system? If you don't like capitalism, what system would you prefer to see?
Yeah. What's matriarchal?
Capitalism is when you're working
Hold on.
under.
This is a question for her.
So, I guess by definition, it sounds very radical of me, and I do consider myself to be a radical feminist, but I guess communism, the very simplistic definition that I have of communism, the utopian society that I envision would be a communist society. And that is because we would have like a trade and barter system, so I could provide, what I'm good at providing, what I enjoy to provide, you could provide to our, to our shared society.
A stateless society?
Yes.
Yeah,
and I think that it would be very complicated to go from where we are right now.
So I can end this argument very quickly for you.
We're not arguing about it. I'm just stating my opinion.
No, I can actually change your mind about this. Hang on, I can change your entire mind about this. I promise.
Okay.
Inside of your stateless society, you would have to have an enforcement arm, like police officers or something like this, to deal with criminals, right? Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you? How could you enforce a hierarchy inside of your society without appealing to a hierarchy to do it?
Why would I need a hierarchy?
Because a stateless society is one without a hierarchy. We would agree that that's true. So if that is true, how could you enforce the norms of a stateless society without appealing to a hierarchy to do so?
So the norms that would be in my stateless society, I don't know how big this, would be, but we're talking about a hypothetical, I guess. So in my stateless society, the norms would be to commit ethical decisions. There would be a
what if somebody violates those?
Yeah. Then what?
Then you have enforcement to take care of that, right?
Because people will inevitably violate.
Yeah. So I've had this conversation before.
So if people will violate the norms of that society and you have to appeal to enforcement, that is a hierarchy.
Grid 1 Motorsports donated $200. Patriarchy values women, protect them and cherish them. The idea that it preys on women is absolutely trash intellectualism. Feminism has failed you. How may the patriarchy help you today?
Bingo.
Andrew, did you want to continue on with your point?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Oh, of course, go ahead.
So I'm just saying, think about the absurdity here. Inside of a stateless society, there can be no hierarchy. If you have a hierarchy, you have a state. How do you enforce the norms of your stateless society without appealing to a hierarchy?
It would be I guess it would be somewhat of a hierarchy. There's two levels: those who commit ethical decisions and those who do not commit ethical decisions. And what's decided to be ethical is decided upon by the community.
Sure.
And then in my mind, the only things that can really come up to me that would require severe punishment or what was the word that you were using?
Enforcement.
Enforcement, yes, would be murder and essay.
No, there's tons of other
things.
What about theft, all kinds of things.
I don't. In a society when there's not a sense of scarcity, I don't think that theft would be a problem unless there's somebody that's a kleptomaniac. That would
Let's
be like
take all those off then. Just violence itself, violent crime, stuff like that. If you're going to have violent crimes inside of a society, you're going to have enforcers, big, strong enforcers to go take care of any violent criminals who exist, right? Like that's going to be necessary.
Wait,
right?
do you in your society that you envision, do you reject the idea that there would be a criminal element? You think it would be impossible for criminality to materialize?
Not necessarily. I don't think it would be necessarily impossible, but then again, I haven't seen a case study where a society lives like this, to see whether or not it would.
Why do you think it would be possible then?
for there to be a society without crime or violence?
This stateless society that you're talking about, where nobody's stealing from one another, there's abundance everywhere, there's no scarcity, everybody's conforming to the same social norms, there's no hierarchy. I mean, you're describing what you call communism, but this is not. This
very
is
loose,
communism has never played out like this.
Yeah.
You know, you've had like small societies that have been communes where people have shared the same social values and they get along relatively well. But like, can you name a single time in history when what you're describing has ever happened at scale?
No, that's why I said that this was like a utopic type. This is where my values lie. And I do think that it would be very difficult for a society like the one that we have modernly to transition to this type of utopian society.
But if it's stateless, that would be absent hierarchy. Even inside of what you're describing is not stateless, because you say that there is a value group who assesses what is moral and is immoral and is ethical and not ethical. That in and of itself is going to be a hierarchy and thus not stateless.
I didn't use the word stateless. I didn't bring it up in like,
well,
that
you
just agreed
society.
to
But that is communism, right?
Don't.
Communism is a stateless society. That is what is postulated by communism, is it not?
I use the word communism very loosely. It's commune, so we're living in a community, and ism. You know.
Wait, so are you saying in this utopian society that you desire to live in, what would be the population of said society? Because currently in the U.S., the population's over, what, 300 million?
330 million.
Yeah.
Right
Okay.
now.
So are you talking like 200 people?
Something like that would be cool. I mean, I don't know how, because like I said, I haven't seen a case study, right? So I don't know how many.
So, okay, you have your society of 200 people. What do we do with the other 330 million people just in the United States? Do they
have
also...
their own society that have different ethical systems.
What was your name again?
Caitlin.
Caitlin.
Yeah.
I say this with all due respect. I think this utopia that you're describing is fundamentally completely incompatible with human nature and will never exist at scale. Because, and I don't say this to insult you, but because human beings naturally organize themselves into hierarchies.
Do you have evidence of this that you could show me?
All of human history. All of human history.
When you walked into this room to set up the podcast, there was a guy who was in charge, and he told you to go over there and fill out this form.
Yes.
And then he told you where you're going to sit, and he told you which mic you're going to speak into, and he told you everything. The very second we walked into this room, all of us together, the entire room was organized quickly by hierarchy, in a hierarchical structure, and everybody was told exactly what their role was.
Yes.
Yeah,
Any time human beings organize in a group at all, there's always going to be leadership that emerges, but there's going to be somebody that's more confident, bolder, able to articulate themselves more clearly. They're going to rise in the hierarchy, particularly if they exercise good leadership abilities. There's going to be people that are less competent. People also temperamentally are wired in different ways. Some people are going to be more wired to serve others. Others are going to be more wired to lead. And hierarchies are just built into nature all around us.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily agree or disagree. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's not really super. So by hierarchy, for me, I guess I totally understand what you guys are saying. My visualization of it within this utopia is very much less intense than what we have now, where there's like, you know, the president that rules over everything, and all these corporations and lobbyists and whatever organizations subsidize government decisions.
So you like small government?
I don't mind small government.
Can I just ask a question really quick? You guys will ask for evidence when like the opposing argument speaks, but we can't ask for evidence, and you guys.
No, you
show
absolutely
us.
can.
Would show us? Because like.
Are you asking about the evidence she asked for?
No, just
in terms of
in
hierarchy?
general.
No, you can ask us for evidence.
But will you show us evidence if we have opposing?
She did. She asked for evidence of a hierarchy, and I gave her a logical
we can't take out our phones and just show you.
No,
empirical
but
evidence
what
of
we can do is just have a conversation where I can reference things that have happened in history, and you can reference things that have happened in history, and you guys may be lying about it, you may be telling the truth. We won't know, because we're not going to sit here and take out our phones and look it up.
We won't know either if your evidence is true.
Well, that's a bit meta. It's a bit meta.
It is, but it's like I don't like do you have evidence
Imagine
of that
Brad's shirt
argument?
and using brain at same time. Impossible. Communism only works when everyone perfect. Nobody is perfect, irony lies. Imagine pitching communism and not knowing what it is. Chase W.
I need to get to one more
I wasn't
chat.
the one who made the communism
she wasn't
argument.
talking about communism that time.
I'm not speaking on communism as a separate question.
Sure, that's fine. Hold on. Wait. Let me read this. Looking forward to hearing from the three next to Brian. Should be a good convo. Chase, as always, thank you for being a role model for young men and progressing the good news of Jesus Christ. # Christ is Lord. Brady, hey, thank you very much. Sorry it took us a little while to get to it.
Thank you, Brady.
I had just one thing related to, I think, Andrew's questions here. Did we fully... well, I'll let... Okay,
Raven
I'll let this
DT
one come in.
donated $200. There was a Survivor show where they put all men on one island and all women on another.
Hilarious.
Is that
In
naked
a couple of days, the women were cold and hungry, whereas the men had fire, food, and it was due to hierarchy.
That is hilarious.
It was hilarious. That whole thing was hilarious.
That's so funny.
I've seen it. Yeah. Did we get to fully address? Did you have an answer when it came to the criminality component of your utopian society? Do you have a solution?
I don't think it would be really a solution. I think it would depend on where the society starts. If we were to be able to fully and gently deconstruct capitalism in the way that it exists today, then maybe we could heal social wounds, for lack of better terms.
Don't you think this is pretty lofty?
Where are you learning this stuff? Who are you consuming these ideas from? Out of curiosity.
I've just done a lot of analysis of what's right and what's wrong.
But you're obviously listening to influential people from maybe throughout history, reading books, YouTube, podcasts.
I just have one question. Okay. That's it, just one. Can you name 2 communist thought leaders?
I said, okay. That's totally fair and a totally valid question.
Can you name 2 communist thought leaders?
Karl Marx is the best that I could give you honestly and fairly. And I can admit that, and I'm very okay with that.
Why in the world would you espouse an ideology if you don't even know the names of the thought leaders who espouse it?
An ideology. You said, did you guys, or do I believe in socialism, communism, whatever? I said communism to loosely use the term to describe.
Okay, can you name 2 socialist thought leaders?
I didn't say anything about me being a socialist.
I want to add, I'm gonna tie all this together. You saw that guy's super chat a moment ago about that TV show where the men were on one island and the women were on the other island, and all the women were cold and hungry.
I haven't seen it, and I would.
Let's assume for a moment that it happened. Earlier in the conversation, I asked you if you could describe any non-patriarchal structures, and you referenced communism and socialism, and kind of basically agreed to your utopian vision as something that could potentially be non-patriarchal, right?
Have non-patriarchal values and social structure. Yes.
Okay. I just want to, I was talking about human nature before. In the kind of society that you're describing, a stateless society where there's abundance and everybody's just hanging out and they adhere to the same social norms.
Ethical values. Instead of social norms, ethical values.
Ethical values. To his point, there is going to need to be enforcement because to his point, there are going to be people that violate the social contract. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, the people that are going to be enforcing will be men, because typically men, if you look at all the data, men are more often violently criminal than women are. Okay. Women aren't going to be the ones standing up to the violent criminals violating the social contract. It's not debatable. We're way stronger than women are. It's going to take men to restrain violent males.
I don't think that's necessarily true. I don't know of any evidence for
men have on average
so why do
3
men
times
have to protect from other men?
I can demonstrate
men
this
have on average
logically.
3 times greater upper body strength than women do, even without training.
I've been raising my hand for a while.
One sec. Wait, do you take issue with the position that men are physically stronger than women?
I don't like that it's used, but I don't have any evidence for or against. I think that women can be physically strong.
Nobody's saying they can't be physically strong. I mean, she can hip thrust 600 pounds.
Yeah.
But
if I were to ask you this easy question, pretend that you were in charge of a prison, and you could hire all female prison guards for the most violent criminals on planet Earth, or all male prison guards with the exact same qualifications. Which ones would you hire?
The strongest. Period.
Which ones are going to be the strongest, do you think?
I have no...
maybe I can add to that.
Evidence for who's going to be stronger.
Maybe I can add to that.
Like,
What do you mean you have no evidence? Life
Based-
experience. Men are stronger than women are almost
just
always.
based off gender. I could not pick who is going to serve my people the
Here,
best.
let me ask you a question.
Like, right?
Let me ask you a question. The 100 strongest people in the entire world right now, are they men or women?
I don't know. I haven't looked.
They're men.
Okay, and I believe you guys, and I support you.
It's not.
The point is,
this is
you're
a
saying-
layup.
This is crazy. The point, you're saying that you've never seen any evidence that like basically men are on average stronger than women. What about like life as a whole? Like,
It's obvious. There's three men. There's three men cornering her. Like she can't like answer.
I'm
the
not
question.
trying- I'm not trying to
hold on.
corner you.
May
I'm
I
not
say
trying to
something?
corner you.
Yeah, go
When-
ahead, Steph.
What do you mean?
When
These are
they-
big, these are big, strong women. What do you mean?
Because
They
you
can't
guys
get
have like
cornered?
10 years
I've
on
been
her,
raising
and
my
like,
hand for, like, the
you guys
past 5
obviously
minutes.
know your points a little bit.
Okay,
a lot
so-
more.
Okay, that's meta. That's irrelevant.
When they
Well,
drafted, when there was a
it's
draft,
real.
why would they choose? Why is it only men?
That's a good question. I
Well,
wasn't
now
there.
it's going to have to be women
Okay.
soon. So
Yeah,
probably
unfortunately,
not gonna be
because feminists are fighting for equality, so now we're going to get it.
So in the Bible,
It's because there's
it
no
always
men
has
going
stated
into the
that
army.
One at
men
a time,
are
please.
protectors.
One person at a time. You go ahead, please.
Yeah, it's been stated in the Bible that men are protectors. So yeah.
Right, because they do a better job protecting
Okay. Yeah,
women.
I will say that. Yeah.
I have always felt more protected by my mom than
So
I
why
have by
would-
my
Okay,
dad.
but that's fine. I would like to ask again. The 100 strongest people in the world currently, are they men or are they women?
it's
I haven't
obviously
looked,
men.
But since you guys are asking the question, I'm going to safely assume that it's men, and I do not
Why?
have a problem with that. And I mean,
The richest people are men. All the billionaires are men.
Grid 1 Motorsports donated $200. All may be saved through Christ. No man can save the girls on the right, so let's stop trying.
Let's
There's no
go.
utopia. Without a rudder all ships run aground. Without direction all efforts fail. Reality weeps.
Okay, it sounded like you had
Grid
something.
one's always
Yeah,
on
I've had
point.
something like probably like 10 minutes ago. Let me think about it because I probably forgot it. It was like 10 minutes ago I raised my hand. So, do you think that a matriarchy society just means that like, because like he sent that question that was like men on one island and women on one island, and then the men were fine and the women weren't. So do you just think that like society should be only men?
No.
Like, what's like the solution? Because you seem to think that like women don't have like a value in any
No,
way.
no, certainly not.
That's-
That's
The
not what
value
we're
is
saying.
to breed and be in the
That's
kitchen.
not
What's
what
the
we're saying.
value of a woman if it's not? Because like all you're explaining is that men are stronger.
Her value is in her reproductive ability and her ability to take care
What
of her
if
family.
a woman was infertile?
What if she was?
Yeah, what if she was? Does
What
that
if she
make?
was?
Does that
Then
mean
what
that
would
her
her
purpose has failed?
I know, but I think that it makes her, generally speaking, less valuable to men inside of that society.
That's-
Wouldn't you say?
So you like this society under like a
you
Reagan
think that
presidency?
she's less valuable as a person?
no,
Wait,
that's not what I said.
Under
Hang on,
God.
Are you saying-
Repeat what I said. Repeat what I said.
You think societally
No,
people
no,
would
hang
find
on.
her
Let me say it again.
less valuable?
I said that the men inside that society, where women cannot reproduce or a woman can't reproduce, are probably going to find her less valuable.
In terms of a dating
No.
and romantic.
Yeah, well, not just in terms of dating and romantic,
That's not a
but
popular
here's the thing.
opinion. A lot of
Let's
people don't
just
wanna have
walk it through.
children.
Walk it through logically. Do you think that women are equipped to do the same kinds of jobs that men are equipped to do?
No, but are men equipped to do all the same jobs that women are
Yes.
allowed to? No.
What job can women do that men can't?
It's vice versa.
Reproduce. I'm sorry, not reproduce. Give birth.
That's
Bear
not. I mean,
children.
that's not a job. It's
Yeah.
part of your biological makeup. But when I'm asking you, where are all of the female stonemasons? Where's all the female Green Berets? There's not a single one. There's not a single female Navy SEAL. There's not a single
Because we
female.
aren't raised that way.
There's not a single.
Nobody
no.
told
Hang on,
me
hang on.
We're
to
not
sacrifice
raised
my
that
time.
way.
Hang on, let me
To be
finish. I'm almost
fair,
done. I'm almost done.
I think that women could hypothetically
Do you-
do those jobs, right? Just like men could hypothetically do a traditional woman's
No,
job.
they
Do you
can't.
think? Do you
But-
think you
Explain
guys
why.
would succeed the same way?
Typically,
as a
it's
bikini
not-
process?
Can I please
stop,
talk?
stop.
Can I please talk?
Stop.
But typically, right, stereotypically, that there's a reason why men primarily have those jobs and they're better at those jobs,
Yeah.
right? But
What do you think? What do you think
hypothetically-
that reason is?
Biology, absolutely.
Okay.
100%. I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying there's hypothetically there could be an outlier, right?
Yeah,
that
but
a
we're
woman
not-
could be a
We're
Green
not
Beret
pushing
or
anything
whatever.
as a monolith.
Yeah.
Okay, so my argument has nothing to do with anything
James
being based
Sexton
around that.
donated
Women-
Oh,
$200.
hold on.
Now that I've heard these Mensa members talk, I'm feeling really disappointed about none of them wanting to date me. Looking forward to coming on the show soon, Brian. And great to see Andrew here.
Yeah, thank you,
great
James.
to see you too.
I'm sorry you were too old.
Love you, James.
So just kind of so that you understand, we're not talking in monoliths, okay? So I'm not saying everyone can't ever do
You said
X.
name a job that a woman can't do that a man can.
Yeah, so what I'm talking,
about
and I'm clarifying right now so that you understand, this is not a monolith. It's not, I wouldn't even think I'd have to explain this, but I guess I do. It's not, nothing's ever expressed in a monolith. So I'm not saying there could never be a hypothetical woman who does X. I'm just saying that if you look at what men do, okay? If you look at just basic jobs which are done outside, like roofing, for instance, this is a really good one. Female physiology actually is not equipped to deal with that because of heat extremes. So you guys like studies. You like studies. You keep on saying, I love the studies. The studies are great. Well, here's a great study for you to take a look at. Women inside of office spaces, they get really cold. And the men don't. Why? Why is that? Do you know why that is?
Can you tell me?
Well, I'm asking you. Do you know why that is?
I mean,
it's
a
because their
probing
physiology
question.
is
You
completely
can just
different,
say
so
why.
they can't regulate their temperature in the same way that males can regulate their temperature. This is why when they work outside, they're less prone to get heat stroke, they're less prone to have all sorts of different issues that women are more prone to have. So yes, there are these kind of physiological barriers, not just the, well, if I was raised to be a construction worker, I could be one. Nope. There's still physiological barriers which exist between the two sexes.